Have you ever felt completely alone, even surrounded by people you trust? What if your relationships could transform your emotional well-being starting today? Completely. Imagine having connections that genuinely support you through every difficult moment. Life. Most people underestimate power of emotional bonds in shaping their happiness daily. Today, we will explore building relationships that truly strengthen your mind state. Strong relationships are not luck, but intentional effort and consistent care daily. Every meaningful bond starts with understanding yourself before connecting others deeply first. People often ignore emotional health while chasing success and material goals relentlessly. But real fulfillment comes from nurturing authentic and supportive human relationships consistently. Think about someone who always makes you feel understood and valued completely. That feeling is foundation of emotional well-being. We often overlook in life. Without strong bonds, stress becomes heavier and harder to manage alone effectively. Building trust is an essential step toward creating supportive, lasting relationships together properly. Trust grows when actions consistently match spoken words over time. Reliably every day, people feel safe when they can express emotions without judgment, fearlessly, openly. Listening actively is one of most powerful relationship-building skills available. Always. True connection happens when both individuals feel heard and respected fully deeply. Emotional intelligence plays a crucial role in maintaining healthy relationships over time consistently. Without empathy, relationships become transactional and emotionally disconnected quickly. Inevitably, over time, empathy allows us to understand perspectives beyond our personal experience deeply better. Small daily actions strengthen emotional bonds more than occasional grand gestures. Ever consistency in relationships builds long-term trust and emotional security steadily over time. Healthy boundaries are essential for maintaining balanced and respectful relationships, always necessary without boundaries. Emotional exhaustion and resentment can quietly develop over time gradually. Communication is a bridge that connects hearts and strengthens emotional understanding deeply always. Misunderstandings often arise when communication lacks clarity and emotional awareness completely often. Forgiveness is a powerful tool that heals broken emotional connections gradually over time. Holding grudges damages relationships and creates long-term emotional distance inevitably deep inside. Supportive relationships encourage personal growth and emotional resilience daily, consistently, strongly, always. Being present in conversations strengthens emotional intimacy significantly over time, deeply naturally. Relationships flourish when both people invest equal effort and care consistently together. Neglecting emotional needs leads to distance and quiet disconnection over time, inevitably. Appreciation strengthens bonds and makes people feel truly valued daily, consistently, deeply. Simple gratitude expressions can transform emotional dynamics between individuals completely over time. Conflict resolution skills determine long-term success of relationships significantly always ultimately important. Avoiding conflict never solves problems, but often worsens emotional tension quietly over time. Healthy disagreements can actually strengthen understanding between two people deeply when handled well. Emotional support during hardships builds unbreakable trust and loyalty strongly forever often. Surrounding yourself with positive people improves overall emotional health significantly, daily, naturally. Toxic relationships drain energy and negatively impact mental well-being deeply over time. Choosing relationships wisely is essential for emotional stability and growth. Long-term success, you become a reflection of people you spend most time with. Consistently daily investing in meaningful relationships creates lifelong emotional support systems. Strong, reliable, deep. True friends support you even when life becomes extremely difficult, unexpectedly, always. Emotional well-being depends heavily on quality of your relationships daily, consistently, deeply. Self-awareness improves relationship quality by reducing misunderstandings effectively over time, consistently. Knowing your emotional triggers helps prevent unnecessary relationship conflicts quickly. Effectively, always, growth in relationships requires patience, understanding, and mutual respect, deep lasting, always. Every strong relationship is built through shared experiences and memories together consistently. Emotional safety allows people to be their authentic selves freely, completely without fear. When people feel accepted, they naturally open their hearts more deeply freely. Strong communication prevents misunderstandings and builds lasting emotional trust. Deep, strong, always relationships thrive when gratitude and appreciation are regularly expressed, genuinely, consistently, deeply. Emotion. Now let's dive deeper into understanding how relationships actually shape emotional health. Many people underestimate how daily interactions influence their long-term emotional stability significantly. Your brain constantly responds to people you spend time with regularly around you. Positive relationships release chemicals that improve mood and reduce stress levels. Naturally, negative relationships slowly drain emotional energy, even when you ignore signs completely. People often stay in unhealthy relationships due to fear and attachment issues, but emotional freedom starts when you recognize unhealthy patterns clearly inside yourself first. Self-awareness helps you identify what kind of relationships you truly need in life. Healthy relationships encourage growth rather than limiting your emotional potential fully over time. You should feel energized after spending time with supportive people around you. If you feel drained, that relationship may need serious reflection immediately. Now, communication problems are usually root cause of most relationship conflicts in life today. Listening without interrupting shows deep respect and emotional maturity always in conversations. Most people listen to reply instead of truly understanding others deeply always. Strong relationships require patience during misunderstandings and emotional tension moments in life. Arguments are not always negative when handled with respect and understanding together. Healthy couples or friends know how to disagree peacefully without harming bond. Emotional support means being present even during difficult times in life, always there. You don't need to fix problems. Just being there helps deeply. Sometimes, emotional connection grows through shared vulnerability and honest conversations over time. Naturally, always, trust is built slowly through consistent actions over long periods of time. Broken trust can heal, but requires patience and honesty again, fully. Eventually, always, people remember how you made them feel during conversations deeply inside forever. Often, small acts of kindness strengthen emotional bonds more than words alone. Ever appreciation is fuel that keeps relationships emotionally alive and strong over time. Without appreciation, even strong bonds start weakening silently over time, gradually, always. Forgiveness allows emotional healing and prevents long-term resentment. Build up inside relationships, deeply, always holding on to anger, damages your emotional well-being more than others do. Often, healthy boundaries protect your energy and preserve emotional balance daily always important. Without boundaries, relationships can become overwhelming and emotionally exhausting very quickly over time. True friends respect your boundaries without questioning your intentions, ever deeply always. Surrounding yourself with positive people improves mental clarity significantly over time. Naturally, always negative influences can slowly distort your emotional perspective on life deeply. Sometimes, you become like people you spend most time with. Eventually, over time, choose relationships that align with your values and goals in life carefully. Always. Emotional well-being depends heavily on quality of your relationships daily, deeply, always. Isolation often increases stress and reduces emotional resilience over time. Gradually, always. Being emotionally available makes your relationships more meaningful and deep over time. People value authenticity more than perfection in relationships. Deeply, truly, always pretending to be perfect creates emotional distance between people. Naturally, over time, vulnerability strengthens bonds by allowing genuine emotional connection to grow deeply over time. Real connection happens when people stop pretending and open up fully emotionally. Time spent together does not guarantee emotional closeness, always naturally at all times. Quality conversations matter more than quantity of interactions daily, always truly important. Deep relationships require emotional investment from both individuals, equally, always, consistently over time. One-sided relationships often lead to emotional burnout and sadness. Eventually, deeply, always. Emotional well-being improves when you feel valued and respected consistently, always deeply. Respect is foundation of every strong and lasting relationship in life, truly always. Without respect, emotional bonds weaken no matter how strong initially they seem. Mutual growth strengthens relationships and builds deeper emotional connection over time, naturally always. Every strong relationship requires effort, patience, and understanding consistently from both sides. Emotional intelligence helps you navigate complex relationship situations with clarity and care. Understanding emotions prevents unnecessary conflicts and misunderstandings between people. Always in relationships, growth in relationships comes from learning and adapting together over time. Naturally, healthy relationships never feel forced or emotionally draining in the long run. They feel safe, sup. Everything you believed about relationships may not actually be completely accurate today. Most emotional struggles come from misunderstanding connection rather than lack of people. Real issue is not absence of relationships, but depth within them. Truly, we often confuse being surrounded with being truly emotionally connected inside relationships. The deepest loneliness exists even in relationships filled with noise, not meaning. People rarely express emotional needs, clearly leading to hidden disconnection over time. Connection fails quietly, long before relationships actually end. Physically and reality, always. Most people fear vulnerability more than emotional rejection itself, deeply inside relationships. But vulnerability is exactly what creates true emotional intimacy, always between people. Without emotional honesty, relationships become performances instead of real connections over time. You cannot build trust while hiding your true feelings constantly inside relationships. Emotional safety is more important than romantic intensity or excitement in long term. People stay in relationships that feel familiar, not necessarily healthy over time. Familiar pain often feels safer than unknown emotional growth opportunities for many. This creates cycles of repeating emotional patterns across relationships repeatedly over time. Breaking these cycles requires awareness and uncomfortable, honest reflection within yourself deeply, always. Most relationship problems are actually unspoken emotional expectations, clashing silently over time. People expect mind reading instead of clear communication in relationships, often always. This leads to disappointment. Even when no real harm exists between people, emotional maturity means expressing needs instead of expecting guesses from others clearly always. When communication improves, most conflicts lose their emotional intensity quickly over time. The twist is that relationships mirror your internal emotional state deeply always. If you are disconnected internally, relationships will reflect that clearly over time. Healing relationships begins with healing your own emotional patterns, first, deeply always. You cannot receive love externally if you reject yourself internally deeply always. Self-worth directly influences quality of relationships you attract in life over time. People with strong self-worth naturally set healthier relationship boundaries over time, consistently always. These boundaries attract respectful and emotionally available people consistently over time, naturally, always. In contrast, weak boundaries attract emotionally draining relationships repeatedly over time, often always. Understanding this shift completely changes how you choose relationships in life always. Now, relationships are not just external connections, but emotional reflections of yourself, deeply always. This perspective completely transforms how you view every interaction in life. Now, always, even conflict becomes opportunity for deeper emotional understanding between people. Always, truly now, instead of avoiding problems. you start embracing emotional growth in relationships deeply always. This is where real transformation in relationships actually begins deeply always now today. You stop asking who is wrong and start asking what is needed. This shift alone can save many relationships from unnecessary breakdown over time. Emotional responsibility means owning your reactions instead of blaming others, always in life. This mindset creates healthier and more stable relationships overall over time, naturally, always. You begin to see patterns instead of isolated emotional events in relationships. Patterns reveal deeper truths about emotional connection dynamics between people always clearly now. Once you understand patterns, you stop taking everything personally in relationships deeply always. This emotional distance actually creates better clarity in conflicts over time. Naturally always. Clarity is foundation of resolving relationship challenges effectively in life, always deeply now. Without clarity, emotional assumptions take control of your reactions completely over time. Assumptions are silent, destroyers of otherwise strong relationships over time, always deeply now. Replacing assumptions with questions transforms emotional outcomes instantly in relationships, always deeply now. This is subtle yet powerful shift most people ignore completely in life. Ignoring this shift keeps relationships stuck in repetitive cycles over time. Always. Awareness breaks cycles and opens door to emotional freedom in life. Always. Emotional freedom allows you to choose healthier relationships intentionally over time. Always now. This is where your entire emotional life begins to shift deeply. Always. You stop reacting and start responding with emotional awareness in life deeply always. This change improves every relationship you currently have in life. Always deeply now. And it also attracts better connections into your future over time, naturally always, because emotional energy always shapes way. Now is the moment to stop observing and start actively changing your relationships. Everything you learned only matters if you apply it in real life. Begin by evaluating the emotional quality of your closest relationships today, honestly. Ask yourself whether these connections truly support your emotional well-being or not. Notice how you feel after spending time with each important person carefully. Your emotions are powerful signals, guiding you toward healthier relationships in life. Do not ignore emotional exhaustion just because a relationship feels familiar today. Start setting small but clear boundaries in conversations and daily interactions now. Speak your needs clearly instead of expecting others to automatically understand them. Practice active listening when others share their emotions with you sincerely always. Give people your full attention instead of distracted half-presence in conversations. Small changes in communication can completely transform emotional outcomes over time naturally. Begin expressing appreciation more often, even for small, everyday gestures from others. Gratitude strengthens emotional bonds faster than most people realize in life always. Start apologizing sincerely when you make mistakes, instead of defending yourself instantly. Accountability builds trust and deepens emotional respect between people over time always. Make time for meaningful conversations instead of only surface-level interactions daily. Ask deeper questions that encourage emotional openness in relationships consistently over time. Be willing to show vulnerability even when it feels uncomfortable at first. Real connection begins when you stop hiding your emotional truth from others. Choose honesty over comfort, even when truth feels difficult to express initially. This honesty will filter out relationships that are not meant for you. Invest more energy into people who consistently show emotional respect and care. Reduce time spent with people who drain your emotional energy repeatedly always. Protect your emotional space like it is your most valuable resource in life, because your emotional well-being depends on it more than anything else daily. Start noticing patterns in your relationships instead of reacting emotionally immediately always. Write down or reflect on how each relationship makes you feel. Awareness alone will help you make better emotional decisions moving forward. Practice patience when relationships go through misunderstandings or emotional tension moments always. Not every conflict needs immediate resolution, but needs understanding first deeply always. Give space for healing instead of forcing immediate emotional closure in relationships. Allow people time to grow emotionally without judgment or pressure from you. But also recognize when growth is not happening in unhealthy patterns repeatedly. That awareness protects you from long-term emotional damage in relationships always. Start choosing peace over ego during emotional disagreements with people around you. Let go of winning arguments and focus on preserving emotional connection instead. Make emotional safety a priority in every relationship you build going forward. If someone cannot provide emotional safety, reconsider their role in your life. Surround yourself with people who encourage your emotional growth consistently over time. Seek relationships that challenge you to become emotionally stronger and wiser daily. Stop chasing relationships that only exist out of habit or fear. Instead, choose relationships that bring meaning, depth, and emotional balance to life. Start being the kind of person you want to attract emotionally. Your behavior sets the standard for how others treat you in return. Lead by example through kindness, honesty, and emotional maturity in all interactions. Do not wait for others to improve first before changing yourself. Take responsibility for your emotional energy and how you share it daily. Every interaction today is an opportunity to build stronger emotional bonds. Be intentional with your words, actions, and emotional responses every moment. Even small, consistent improvements will reshape your entire relationship life over time. Start today, not tomorrow, because emotional change begins with present action. Commit to building relationships that heal rather than hurt your emotional well-being. This is your turning point toward healthier and more meaningful connections in life. Choose wisely, act consciously, and protect your emotional peace from now onward. Your future emotional happiness depends on the decisions you make starting today. Now you have everything needed to transform your relationships and emotional life. The real journey begins when you consistently apply these lessons every single day. Emotional well-being is not a destination, but a continuous, lifelong daily practice. Every relationship you improve will positively impact your overall happiness and peace. Do not underestimate small daily actions in building stronger emotional connections over time. Even simple conversations can reshape emotional trust when done with sincerity, always. Your emotional future depends on choices you make in relationships today, right now. Start seeing relationships as opportunities for growth instead of emotional dependency alone. Healthy relationships are built through effort, understanding, patience, and consistent communication daily. You are capable of creating deeply fulfilling and supportive emotional connections in life. Believe in your ability to change old emotional patterns and behaviors gradually over time. Every step toward better communication strengthens your emotional resilience and inner stability. Do not fear ending relationships that continuously harm your emotional well-being deeply. Letting go creates space for healthier and more meaningful connections to enter your peace is more important than maintaining relationships that drain your energy. Choose emotional clarity over confusion. Even when decisions feel difficult initially, always real strength is choosing what supports your emotional health without hesitation or fear. You deserve relationships where you feel safe, valued, and emotionally respected always. Never settle for connections that make you feel emotionally invisible or unimportant. Start investing in people who genuinely care about your emotional growth consistently. Reciprocation is a key indicator of healthy and balanced emotional relationships in life. If effort is one-sided, emotional imbalance will eventually appear over time. Be mindful of where you invest your emotional time and energy daily. Your attention is powerful and should be given to meaningful relationships only. Start building emotional boundaries that protect your mental peace and stability. Daily, healthy boundaries do not push people away but attract respect instead, always. You are responsible for maintaining emotional standards in your relationships going forward. Stop expecting perfection from others and focus on mutual emotional understanding instead. Growth happens when both individuals commit to improving relationship dynamics together over time. Every conversation is a chance to either strengthen or weaken emotional connection deeply. Choose words that heal instead of words that create emotional distance unnecessarily. Practice empathy even when disagreements feel intense or emotionally challenging in moment. Empathy transforms conflict into opportunity for deeper understanding between people. Always, naturally, you have power to shift emotional tone of any relationship instantly today. Awareness is first step toward building emotionally intelligent and healthy relationships always. Without awareness, relationships repeat same emotional mistakes over and over again, continuously. Break that cycle by choosing conscious emotional responses instead of reactions daily. Your emotional maturity determines the quality of relationships you experience in life. As you grow emotionally, your relationships will naturally improve and evolve over time. Do not rush emotional growth because it requires patience and consistency. Always trust the process of becoming more emotionally aware and stable in relationships daily. Every challenge in relationships is lesson designed to improve your emotional intelligence. Instead of avoiding challenges, learn from them and grow stronger emotionally. Always. Strong relationships are built through shared struggles and mutual understanding. Over time, you are capable of creating relationships that bring peace instead of stress. Focus on building emotional connections that support your dreams and personal growth. Your environment shapes your emotions, so choose relationships that uplift you daily. Surround yourself with people who inspire positive emotional change in your life. Let your presence also be a source of emotional support for others consistently. Be the kind of person others feel safe opening their hearts to. This creates a cycle of mutual emotional trust and deep meaningful connection, always. Emotional well-being improves when relationships are based on honesty and respect, always. Keep practicing gratitude, empathy, and communication in all your relationships daily. These simple habits create powerful transformation in emotional quality of your life. Remember that every relationship is a reflection of your inner emotional world, always. When you improve internally, your external relationships naturally begin to improve, also. Now take action and begin building relationships that truly support your emotional well-being. Your journey toward healthier relationships and emotional peace star.